Merlin Museum. I mean, Sleepy Time's been on the up and up recently, so it makes me wonder, can they upset the team that basically dominated the entire season so far? Do they have that in them?
You know, if you would have asked me this question probably like a month ago, I would have told you absolutely not. But we have seen at the tail end of the regular season, LaG has actually taken some set losses and has struggled a bit. Now, granted, Sleepy Time is on the lower end of the teams. However, I don't know. I think Sleepy Time has a fair shot. I mean, I still think LaG has the advantage, but I truly think that we could possibly see an upset here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a huge amount of it comes to momentum, and I mean, I think if Sleepy Time can't get the momentum behind them in game one, just continue, they could look for a surprising upset. But anyway, so in looking at picks and bans, we see two jungles, or solo in a jungle from the side of Guantanamera. You have Camazotz, the guy that we surprisingly wasn't banned out earlier on in the day, or at all, I believe, for the longest time in the Frenzy versus Jurassic Bat set. I mean, what's there to say about him? Kills your squishies, basically guaranteed if they don't have relics. On the other side, though, the two typical mages we normally see, the Discordia and Raijin, are both banned away. One said the Horus, and with that, Sobek's locked in instead.
So I want to remind people real quick that actually for so SPL wise only Persephone is banned, but however for Cleety G it was decided by captains and admins that Persephone, Heim, and Morgan will all be banned due to Heim and Morgan being bugged for most of the regular season anyway. So they decided just to have them be banned. Baba is actually legal though, but I don't think we'll see a Baba here. But
unless we saw Grim here, but I think it's just a lot more fun with Heim not being here. Let's be honest, a little biased in there. I mean,
Heim and Morgan, honestly.
Yeah, but either way though, the guy that has risen though recently and in the Nike. Now, I asked this question earlier too to Lucky. Is Nike really all that good, or is it just that, Sino played her and she just won a few games and looked extremely popular?
So I said this before. I think Nike's fine. I don't think she's amazing. I think she's a very average character, but I think people are starting to see she has a little bit more application than probably previously given credit for. I still don't think she's a top pick. I feel like she's definitely one of those more comp specific picks, but a lot of people really like it just for Jungle Nike for the sake of how powerful that engagement is with that ultimate. That 40% slow for 6 seconds is huge. Mm-hmm. And of course she just has pretty solid damage in her kit, but I don't know. I think she's a little overrated personally, but not a bad pick by any means.
You can't say that in front of Warrior, my friend. I mean, love the Nike.
I love Nike too, but
two very, very safe picks. Ones I actually didn't see again in the Frenzy set mentioned before. Jing Wei and Merlin picked up for the Guantanamera. The Jing Wei for Poyo, we've seen it be destructive. The same thing with the Merlin for Munchie. As Ganesha rounds off the top three for this side of Sleepy Time. Bit surprised he can go Jing Chen as a Reincarnation. Or actually, no, it's Hakumba actually here. Reincarnation is not here in this game. As the Hera and Ravana banned away. That's something to know of.
I was about to say, yeah, no surprise. I mean, Ravan is a very big comfort pick of Pun Salt, and we've seen what Uriel can do on this Hera. He carried that one of the sets in one of the last few weeks of the regular season. Hopefully they don't lock that in. But
Osiris, it has to be a target. I'm actually, they have to be expecting the jungle to be the Nike. But the Ravana band, I'm not surprised. That's one of a few gods Pansal really loves. That the Achilles is picked up, so a very heavy front line. Hercules locked on the other side. I mean, both of those guys can flex both places, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Hercules goes to support at the end of the day. As Pele is locked in for Pun Install on top of that.
I love Hercules. Some people might know that. Hercules is probably my favorite god in this game. It's just I think he's so bad in solo, so unfortunately we don't get to see him play there. So I agree with you. It's probably support, and knowing MX's playstyle, they would fit.
Just Boulder Wave and solo, that's all that matters. Am I right? Just
I mean,
bolted away. The classic. Thoth is being hovered. I know Ariel plays this pick, but it is interesting to say the least. So if you really don't see it too much of. Same thing with the Agony too. I mean, we haven't seen much of both those gods. I think for most of this entire season, I mean, I think we've only seen a few Thoth and maybe 1 or 2 Agony picks. But the Agony is locked in instead, a bit of a classic mid laner. Getting back to the books.
I mean, you can't hate on the OG mages of the game. I mean, I feel like it's one of the problems with Agni though is everyone knows what Agni brings. So
Yeah, but if you want to go back to the basics with the books, you just go with Thoth. I mean, he has a book of his own. But I mean, look at these 2 comps. I think Sleepy Time got outdrafted pretty heavily. To make it simple.
oh yeah, that's a nasty draft that LaG's got going on. I mean, but I'm actually interested to see Punasol in the Pele. We haven't seen him branch out much besides Robin, Set.
Odin, maybe.
Yeah, I think he played like 1 or 2 other gods, so it's nice to see him on the Pele. It fits his playstyle, at least I think it does. So good pickup for him. But like, yeah, I agree. I would definitely outdrafted, but I mean, it's still possible for Sleepy Time to make this draft work.
I mean, yeah, we always say that the weird drafts ends up winning games somehow. I mean, and Sleepy Time's one of them. Surprised to see Jinxie on the Achilles. I haven't usually see him on the normal assassins, best stat, and well, his best stat is not inherently here in this game. Although I wouldn't be surprised again, like I mentioned last time with Sleepy Time, is that if it's a game 2 strat rather than a game 1 strat. Fall back on this in the second game rather than the first.
So I really don't actually. I don't like Achilles in the jungle much. I think it can do fine there, but I feel like there's always like many better options. Honestly, I think I'd rather see the Nike. Like I just say it was overrated, but I think Nike does better in jungle than Achilles. But I don't know.
So,
I mean, Clea G's home of the Nike solo laners now due to Warrior just playing it all season and just making her look so damn good. So I mean,
one thing that a lot like we always talk about Player of the Month in that type of thing with supports and everything else, but the one reason it works is because if you bring Athena back into meta, even though you already know what she does and you should realistically know what she does, it just kind of surprises you and catches you off guard sometimes, and you can't forget about it. And that's, I think, the same thing with the Achilles jungles that what it's going for is we have seen it play a few times, mostly on a Drowsy bet, but I mean, if you kind of get a bit too cocky and forget how good it was at one point and sort of let him run free, then that could spell disaster for LaG. It's also good against his Hercules, but at the same time too, if Hercules gets his heal up, it's just gonna be there's gonna be a pause in comms where you're just kind of like, oh no. Are we going to answer? Because I think one of the key targets is his Hercules. Just make sure you can't get that heal up. So if you miss it, it's a bit of an uh-oh moment.
yeah, he's also got to be careful. I mean, Sobek's heal is not nearly as good as Herc's, but still a heal, and even Pele with the passive. So hopefully that doesn't get in the way of the execution.
Anti-heal, please.
You know what? I'm actually surprised to see Poyo on the Dreamway. Usually we see LaG try to center their comp around Poyo carrying. Poyo has carried a lot of their games in the past. So giving him a Dreamway, which can definitely still carry, but it's not like we've played before, like a Freya or some other late game powerhouse. But I guess they're trying to play it more safe just because they have had that rough last couple weeks of the regular season.
And also, one thing too, I think we mentioned this. I think it was LaG, but I forget who it was against. I believe it was JPEG. But you can't. Guys like Frey, you just can't bake into Nike though, because she just can't basic attack. Nike just puts up that barrier and she literally can't do anything. If she doesn't have her Woopa, why would you use your ult just to get over them, And going back to the Jing Wei, it's simple. He's carried games like you said before. Why not put him in again? Put him on the safest AC in the game and have him carry. There was a bit of a shakeup though on the side of LaG for a bit. I'm interested to see where these two tanks go specifically, because that's a bit of what the shakeup was.
Oh yeah, they actually swapped solo and support, didn't they, for like a
But
game or so?
it looks like they went back to their roots and they're having double go all the way to that duo side. I mean, Hercules, we have seen him in some, not pro play, but some circuit scene play. I mean, he fares well, but it's pretty clear that he does get pretty slapped around in lane. Which is kind of odd to say because, I mean, if you remember Hercules back in the day, that man was the king of slapping people around. Just a whole new world for him, you know? And unfortunately, he really couldn't keep up.
How the mighty have fallen. But
Yeah.
I mean, with the changes of Warriors Blessing coming, I think Hercules might have a bit more relevance. Just I feel like the same characters in general might be a little bit more prioritized, just for how much more poke you're actually going to take in lane. So I don't know. I'm curious to see. Curious to see how the changes. I'm ready for a lot more aggressive solo lane than what we got now.
But at the same time, though, I mean, Jormungandr with 25 true damage is Jormungandr with 25 true damage in lane. Same thing with King Arthur. We might see some new, but we certainly will have a lot of the old from this season in like the Jormungandr and other picks.
I mean, and you gotta remember, like, his breath will now be able to do normal damage since now that the Warriors Blessing won't have the 3 reduced damage on everything. So every single tick of his breath is gonna do 3 extra damage, and I mean that sounds small, but that's gonna add up like a lot.
And also, Cabrakan Cabrakan really kind of gets screwed over by that. Because the fact that his whole gimmick in that lane is to really rely on that 3 damage mitigation so that he doesn't get poked out something from the minions and everything else. But also Cthulhu coming around the corner for season 3 of Cleety. So it'll be interesting to see how that Jormungandr's father basically comes around to that league. I mean, he's ridiculously huge. He's like gigantic.
So interesting enough, so I know there's been the new blue start where solo laners start on blue and jungles go straight there afterwards, and then pretty much it just speeds up the jungle's rotation to mid, but it does slow down solo's farm a little bit. You don't see it every game, but
for a reason.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to not see that here.
It's just not a good start. I mean, because look, solo laners, I think, at least me personally, I just don't like those types of awkward starts. Just, you know, go to wave, go blue. That's just nice and simple. You don't really spice anything up there. And I mean, depending on how fast the enemy solo clears, I mean, if you do that start, you get put behind basically because I mean they're getting more speed and they push from mini wave under tower possibly, they can clear faster than that. I mean, you gotta be careful with that start. It's really if both sides do it that works.
So I just realized this now. I don't know if you caught an eye of it, but we actually see Caribou in the support role for this set, and Gukuma Matana playing ADC. So for those who don't know, Gukuma Matana is actually a sub for this team. Rapid Carnation's the normal support, so I'm assuming they just role swapped real quick just to make sure Gukuma Matana was on his most comfortable role, which we've seen him play ADC, and he's done okay. But against a powerhouse like Poyo, he's gotta be a little careful here.
Then the one game he did play against, or play in AC wasn't that against like the time Mara. But I thought you were probably something else entirely in the AC lane. Looking at the builds, Jingwei did not go a Blessing. She went for the tier 2 Devil's Rush instead. Which, I mean, maybe Bloodforge Rush too? It's interesting to see where that'll go, actually. So put it simply.
I don't like that. I mean, well, you don't need to rush it that fast. I mean, just Hunter's Blessing, it's not like amazing, sure, but it's definitely a lot. It's very helpful, but I don't know. Maybe Poyo has, maybe they've been scrimming and maybe this weird start's been working. I mean, I'm a fan of weird strats because sometimes they really work out and they surprise people. Of course, people learn how to counter them eventually, but I mean, we are in playoffs, so maybe LaG has been scrimming and found some great success with this Dev Rush, which we do see him go with the Dev Gloves.
I mean, you lack the mana, but Jingwei, I mean, of course, she just basically has infinite pool of mana with how fast she can rotate back into lane. You lose the extra damage from the basics. The power is there, but I'm not too quite sure actually if it matches up. But either way, you get your going online a lot quicker, and I mean, Eon's faster than anyone else. I mean, could pay off if he gets it fully stacked really early. Just doesn't have to worry about stacking up or trying to match a stack up Bell. That's actually interesting. We see the Devil start for Digiblock. Sometimes we see trans basically because of the one and how it works, and just having a certain amount of mana sustain basically guarantees you infinite bolas. But coming next patch, actually, and in the bonus balance, Jabaka's bolas are getting increased by 2 mana per use, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it really actually changes how much MP5 you need to have that infinite bola usage. I mean, you're basically needing 25 MP5 to make that work now. That change.
That change, it makes me mad. I feel so. The rest of the characters on the list were fine, but I feel like out of Xbalanque was such a weird one to target.
Yeah.
And I thought that was not a necessary bonus balance change.
Yeah,
but
target maybe target Jingwei instead. But anyways.
Yeah, she's been meta since what, release? Let's get her out of here.
Same thing with Merlin. How would we get him out of here as well?
And Arthur, I mean, there's a lot of gods.
Arthur's falling off a bit, to be fair. But, well, he had to rise back into the occasion. I mean, maybe that's what the Agni's here for, is to say, yo, I don't need these new picks, you know? I can school you on old school. Looks like he's doing a bank cross rush, though, in mid. With that tier 1 trinket. I mean, I'm not too surprised by Ariel building it. He does have sort of weirder building in most mids. I'd probably say like Twigs is closest comparison, maybe. Want to talk about SPL players in comparison?
You know, I don't mind that. I think the Bancroft's Agni is actually alright, and it helps him. I don't think it's like super strong. I still think maybe the normal mage is less than pen build we see is a little bit better. But there's definitely worse things he could have gone. Oh, that's a lot of poke.
I wasn't talking about that though. I was talking about the lifesteal item. So we thought Bancroft, which is an old school thing again. You just have so much power up front, and again, I think I would like to see a Divine Rune much instead. But I mean, we've seen him pick up this I am a Y. He's sort of done the season 6 build where you go Pythags into E-Staff, and well, I think we might see a Pythags come out of him there instead.
Oh, I guess he just wants to have a chunky health build. I mean, you lack a lot of the damage, but I guess you are a bit harder to kill. So I'm assuming he's just going for more survivability rather than I'm gonna constantly try to fight you, which makes sense.
Probably works in solo too. Although it's not comp proven yet, to put it simply. Actually, it has been comp proven. Russian Pappy in the minor league last season did it. Didn't find any success, but I mean, it works decent. You got a big old circle to stun, you got bombs, you got some damage, you got mobility. Sort of more of a bait tool than anything else.
So, interesting enough, we see Nike go the Talaria boots here, and well, that's a fine pickup, but typically we see that when people are opting to not go TP. So, I'm curious.
I mean, the movement speed build is getting nerfed next patch, but I think Nike just works with its IM a lot. It's just, you should just dance around people, and that's sort of the gimmick with her. Normally, we would see like more movement speed and such, of course going with the movement speed build, because it still works on Nike, but health works with her very closely, but getting some damage, and some damage reduction, which is likely going to be the Runic Shield pickup. I don't blame him for that. As he's getting rotated on by 3 people, and he's level 9, but he takes a huge chunk of damage, forced to use the old boulder. Really couldn't find its mark, and despite 3 rotation, Nike will get out alive. But Gold Fury is being looked at on the other side. I'm not too sure about it though. If Merlin and Jingwei are here, Jingwei hold on to it, doesn't secure it yet. But instead, Munchie will secure first blood and steal it away as well. A bit too early on that play from the side of Sleepy Time. Blink in from Hercules, I was trying to cut off the Achilles' flank onto his Pele, but
careful now.
His Achilles is in a very awkward spot. Although with 4 people corralled like this, he should have found an easy way out. But that's just a mistake from Sleepy Time. I mean, you get it, like you bring 3 people over to solo to, kill the solo laner, and you say, oh yeah, we'll go for Gold Fury. The only problem is you really didn't pressure out mid, didn't poke them out that heavily, and you didn't do the same thing to the AC at all, and forcing way it back, and I mean, it was an easy steal there for Munchie. Spell's getting first blood.
Yeah, that's just one of those, like, what we like to call the very ambitious call. I mean, I respect it, and it was the right idea, but like you mentioned, it was just there was no poke for the carry or the mid, so like they were able to just freely come in and contest it. So I feel like they should have, once they saw them, they should have either dropped it and just took the fight or throw them up. But we actually see Gingy get a kill over here.
Yeah, fight around the fire pit when there's really nothing there to fight over. Kill was on the front stall. Doubles next with a good shield bash from the Achilles, and Sovik's looking to be in juicy target next. A good stun, but the dash is better. And that's really not for the agent, no matter how you put it, to say the least. I mean, Pyro's not even up for a bit, and I mean, it's weird that there's being a fight over that side of the map. Munchie caught around 2 people, stunned out, bombed on, but flickers away, and he's good. Jingwei even rotating in, trying to find something, but Darkest Knight is dropped for the safety of his team, and that should get him out of there. I mean, look at the ACs, there's a 2-level lead there, and we saw it last time as well with Boyo into Lukumba, where he just had a huge lead on the Xingwei. And interestingly, again, too, with his build, he went tier 2 into the Executioner, or maybe, actually no, just the Executioner.
Careful now.
But he didn't finish it off, he went for another Light Blade. Which makes me think that he's obviously going for pen more than the crit at all with this build.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he had an awkward amount of gold. I mean, that happens. Or it could have been a misclick, like you said, but I mean, sometimes you have an awkward amount of gold and you just, you know, you don't want to just like back so soon. So you just end up getting like a tier 1 version of something. So that way, when you do back, you can at least finish that tier 2 you had and at least have already started the next item you planned. But good point about, oh, never mind.
I think he forced the leap away. She does have that ultimate ability. So she'll probably get out alive unless the Pinio comes through at the right time. Pops the ult and sort of baits it with the use of the Ren to say, hey, you can hit me right now and kill me. But of course, she'll get out alive once more with that shield, and everything's fine if ults on each side's thrown away, but at the end of the day, nothing secured. And it looks like he did stall away on a side note, so I think that was a misclick on the side of Boyo.
I thought, well, you know, I was just trying to predict his big brain play.
Yeah, Jablanca though, caught in a pretty awkward position with 4 people of LaG chasing him. Blinks are coming through, he should have no way getting out of there alive, and Foil will secure another kill 3 levels up on his lane opponent. Just absolutely dominating this game already. I mean, 3 levels down in AC is something you do not want to see at all. Especially with a late game hunter like a Chingwei. That tier 1 tower is looking to fall on the left side. The gold differential, I was going to mention earlier, wasn't even that far away before that fight. It was only like 700, which would have been interesting because, I mean, they got gold for again first blood. You think there'd be more, but I think the gold for was just so early that it just didn't do much. And now it leads up to about 1,200. Kills are even though. That might not be for too long. Both teams have around in the fight.
I just I just realized that actually our spectators working just fine, and I can't I can't believe I haven't even noticed it until now. But I'm so used to when Toro Wheelix streams that it's glitch, but woohoo! It finally fixed itself just in time for playoffs. Yeah, well, I mean, Hyras doesn't care about console. Are you kidding me? I mean, look what they did with the Pro League. I mean,
yeah. Anyways, and that crit though was picked up from the side of Toyo Rose, so I mean, it didn't quite bait anything. I think one way you could have done something is that you could have baited him into building, anti-crit when he didn't build crit. I mean, either way, Jingwei just has crit built in, and I think anti-crit no matter what is worth it against her. Oni Fury is being looked at. For the time being, they'll get off of it, as it looks like both teams on fire under. Nike has a pretty good flank route. They gotta be careful of that. They do recognize it, but nothing's done quite yet. It's a 5v5. Everyone's in position to shit away this Oni Fury. It's getting shredded pretty quickly. Nike leaps in, and blue team, the Legaton there, will secure pretty easily, but should be at the cost of their support. Execute not even needed. Janeway forced the ult away, and she could get out here alive unless a Nike has her Rend up and a leap as well. Leaps straight onto the Janeway. They just used Rend. It's coming through, but the hits are on the mark. And he will get the kill, but Silver Plug is better, and the shell will not be enough to save the life, given they can get killed upon install. There might just be more Agni Bombs hailing from above, but doesn't quite find their mark. It's a 1-for-2 trade plus the Gold Fury. They have an awkward fight taken there at the end, though. As Achilles actually got a bit too greedy looking for that blue buff. Does have the combat dodge, though, and he'll get out alive. But Pyromancer falls as well, and at least some of that gold differential was negated there.
Yeah, well played. Well played by Sleepy Time, able to punish LaG for the call. I mean, and the support going was probably to be expected, but they were able to pick up the Janeway and at least get the Pyro to secure. But unfortunate for Munchie though to drop that kill onto the Achilles at the end there.
I mean, if he didn't have any mana, and he just had that combat dodge. So tier 2 left almost fell though to my of the Oni minions. I could have been some little gold spike on top of everything. Looking at the build though, I think it's gonna be a Shield of Regrowth from the Hercules. It's Speed Demon Hercules. For the tier 2 of the male being picked up. It's interesting though, because the item goes from a breastplate into a shield, but it doesn't really make sense. But simply.
I guess that's a pretty good point. I mean, I feel like that's an interesting treat and all, but I like the Shield of Regrowth pickup. I feel like you're pretty silly if you're not going to pick it up on Hercules, no matter what role you're playing. I mean, just be able to just pop your 3 and be super fast, like
doing the jungle too.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's basically a free speed boost and a good amount of, you know, health, HP 5, MP 5, and a cooldown, which Herc loves. I mean, this item, if you're not building on your Hercules, you better start doing it now.
Much of Hercules at Bracer Meta still isn't popular. Because, well, I did that, but hold on. The Gargoyles are dropped and Pele caught underneath them. And under tower, really can't get out of there alive in any situation. Easy pickings for the side Sleepy Time. So let's Fluct finds Achilles, but doesn't find much else as as Gingy finds a little Munchie in the back line with the Thorns combo and the ultimate from this Nike. And I mean, we mentioned Poyo being up 2 levels. Gingy's up 3 on this Nike, and I mean, it's showing. Achilles on the flank, gets the damage off, forces him to jump away. He might just pay for his own life. The boulder, though, isn't there, and he'll walk away unscathed for the moment. Same can't be said for his Ormer on the Sobek. He falls on his own tier 1 tower, and, well, same thing happens to the tower, too. He falls as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ormer has not really found his place in this game yet. I mean, Genji's been playing extremely well. Definitely out farming Ormer, as clearly seen by that 3-level lead, but like, Ormer is just able to get down to this backline, and they don't really have much of an answer at the moment.
Yeah, not quite yet. And yeah, it's interesting. Look at the back there was built once more. He actually went for the Soul Gem instead. An early Soul Gem, which I think the Navy likes to do. It's mostly on new lives because of just how good that item is on her. Divine Room was picked up, which I really do like from him there. So it's a decently good build. Look at the Nike too, though. She does have a bit more movement speed with that Relic Dagger as well. And I mean, with Thorns and all the decent amount of damage he's got is built already. I mean, it's not gonna be a fun time for this backline of Guantanamera against this Nike.
I actually love the Relic Dagger pickup. I mean, granted, a lot of people are like, well, you know, you got TP, you kind of feel like you're wasting it for a little bit. It's like, hey, no, not really, because your second Relic's gonna be up a lot. And the item itself, it's so cheap, it gives such good stats. Even with the nerf coming, I still think we're gonna see a lot of value out of it. I mean, having your Relics on a 40 seconds less off the cooldown, like, that's amazing. And we've even seen in Final K's little video about, I don't know, about solo lane items. He said Relic Dagger's been pretty underrated, so I wonder if Gingy maybe did a little bit of homework and was like, alright, let's try it out.
I mean, some people watch pros, some people don't. I mean, mostly look at Justin Hu. He played Steiner and Nike and the of the mana. 2 games back to back. Bit of a fight started, but not much except for health bars will be traded out and some mana. Rescue is plugged out relatively heavily, and Primal Fury is getting shredded through. Good plug to throw it away, but is stolen away by the Aggie Dashin. Unfortunately, though, dashing has not usually means you're inting for it. Punzel will be secured in return, and this fight's looking to continue as the Achilles is trying to look for an engagement on the backline, but they can't find much with the zoning from the rest of Guantanamera. I mean, Guantanamera is still first Gold Fury, and same time they right back. Red buff is also continuing to be looked at. Blinking from the Achilles to the backline. It was very low execute, blocked perfectly by MX Double. Jimmy forced to ult away. Doesn't have the leap, so that kill will unfortunately not go to the side of Sleepy Time onto that chain way. Blinking from the Hercules to push to Nike back, but I mean to Nike, you really can't do much if you push her back. She's just so tanky. However, with these body blocks, though, you can look for this Ganesha. Michael trying to do something to peel away for his support, but the Jing Wei crits are too much along with the boulder, and Caribou unfortunately falls in a situation he probably shouldn't have fallen or fell in.
There's just so much plucking going on the side of LaG right now. Like, poor Caribou, man, was just trying to get out of there and just got double plucked. But I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, we've seen their strategy rely a lot on like these like single character like pluck. But
like he tries to find a kill into this Merlin, but fortunately, ult and Thorns will just go to health bar damage and really nothing else. Does stop the Pyromancer though. Another thing though, looking at the builds, tell me, what do you see on every member except for the Nike from the side of Sleepy Time that we mentioned earlier?
You know what? I'm failing to see what you see right now.
Well, you mean you'd be on par with most of the SPL pros too. It's anti-heal. Picked up for that Hercules.
That's true. Yeah, that's smart. I mean, that's a good making fun of him. Yeah, we've seen a lot of people like we actually seen it in one of our own sets here. There was an Aphrodite and barely any anti-heal, and Afro was just free healing.
Excuse me, though? Fire Giant being shredded down to half. Frenzy popped really late. Jingwei is looking to try and steal it here, but lack of vision, then, well, that gives an easy Fire Giant to the side of Sleepy Time.
Just what a call. Yeah, what a call. Like, whoever, Sleepy Time, if you're watching this back, whoever did that, I mean, whoever made that call, you know, props to you. That was smart. And like you mentioned, just big lack of vision over there. But what shred? I mean,
wait, there's a ward there though.
Oh, wow, you're right. It's literally right on the pit. Huh?
What are they doing? There's no way there. I mean, Play was in the back camps, but I mean, maybe they just didn't expect them to really be on it, and we're just looking for a fight or something. I mean, beautiful play, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, not kind of weird response out of LaG, but maybe I guess they assumed it wouldn't be shredded that fast, but boy, were they wrong. Like, that health bar was instantly down. I mean, between the Ganesh ult and Shivalanke and all of Agni's ability, it's like, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have crit online, so maybe he got lucky with a few crits. So much a 2k gold lead, you know, right as that was happening, but I mean, this gold lead's gonna expand pretty far. As long as we can get these tier 2s, because there's only one tier 1 left on the map. I mean, if LaG can defend this, then they're sitting really pretty in this situation. Silvic's trying to run away the 2 carries from the side of City Time, as well as the Nike doing it for the on the other side of the map. Achilles looks for the execute, but the block away is enough to save his life. Lots of volts tree and Future Tower will fall, and Hercules might just be another target. Achilles is pushing. Beats is relatively later than I think he wants to realize. But 4 ults dropped from the side of, well, 3.5 dropped from the side of Sleepy Time and trade for 2 and Tower. Nike though, caught out of position, knocked up. can't do much, and, well, just bit bad positioning from Gingy there. Putting it simply. He's been doing strong all game, and timing there is a pretty big thing. That's Ganesha. Silences out the Hercules, and I mean, if I'm double right now, I'm not happy about having able to push us. Jinx, who trying to go for a red buff, gets killed by Punstall, and now it's the Longbaton and Mare on the aggressive. Hercules tries to get a pluck and will do so. Crits are good, but the damage from Akumba is better, and well, both supports will fall, but it'll be the Longbaton and Mare one that falls first instead. Jablanque, though, plucked in beautifully, drops the Aegis, but that's a Zap Aegis. Munchie gets a kill there, and a bit of a throw from Sleepy Time. Just simply.
Yeah, just like that. I mean, the tables are turning. Now, LaG has all this pressure. I mean, Fire Giant's only on the Agni, and...
Yeah. 2 blinks, though, are very off the mark. Agni, though, walks right into the Merlin damage. Unfortunately, Pele is kind of pre-op position before that, and will fall, but the middle Phoenix does first. Huge opening for the side of Longbaton and Mare.
you know, like that is that was a massive shift there. Like I'm not, to be honest, it's just Sleepy Time just didn't group. I don't know what they were doing. They kind of were spread out way too much there, and then Gigi got picked, and then I forgot who else. Someone else just got picked, and then that was that. I mean, that was a bit sloppy of a push by Sleepy Time there, and what a great like just answer out of LaG, like getting those picks and then just pushing that Phoenix down. And now, just like that, LaG has the advantage.
Yeah, Hercules forced the ult though to immune the stun from the side of Sleepy Time. I mean, he could have been picked there if he wasn't careful with all 3 of those members being there. Gold Fury is up, but I mean, it's a Gold Fury. It's on Oni where you can sort of push waves off and then go for fire. It's on a Primal where you can much more easily take fire. Just a Gold Fury, which at this point in the game looks pretty good. I mean, 26 minutes and the gold from Gold Fury is certainly noticeable. Being shredded away pretty quickly, Dark Clothes are dropped in return, and instead, Gold Fury, even at like 1000 HP, will be dropped away. And instead, Jablanque will pick it up, and it's stolen away by the Sobek, I want to say? He'll treat out his life for that most likely, as Nike has an infinitesimal health bar, and I mean, tries to off some people. Armor will eventually fall to Akumba, and this could be a turnaround fight from the side of Sleepy Time. Good lead, but the push was just not enough. Nike, though, has got to be very careful. She's getting shredded in return. Same thing with Jingwei. She's dancing around these bombs, and all of them were off the mark, unfortunately. And Jingwei gets out of there alive.
I just... I feel like the call to drop it was... I mean, you had it so low. I mean, and you had Janeway there. Like, 2 more autos should have been enough. 3, and they kind of just handed that right back to Sleepy Time for them. I mean, they did get it. That's right. My apologies. They did end up stealing back, but I don't know. That was weird. I mean, I feel like that was a lot of fighting just for the Gold Theory. I mean, at this point of the game, gold is nice, but is it really worth throwing your life over? I mean, I don't know. But now, with Gold Theory gone, you have, it's just gonna spawn the Oni and the Primal ones. So I guess that's probably what the play was.
Yeah, just rotate through those Furies. Make sure you get the good ones instead. Because, I mean, the gold lead didn't really change at all, even off the Gold Fury, which you think it would probably do if it was like a 1k differential, but just fight afterwards. Push it back in favor of Sleep Time once more. And after tip, it was always going to be looked at either Gold Fury full or secure. Except Longbaton and Mare is looking for the Fire Giant. This is likely a bait, I want to say, but it's getting shred down pretty quickly. They're still hovering on it. Frenzy's popped, Dark Pillars are popped once more. Jingwei's left straight onto, killing from the backline. It will be secured by LaG, but what caused Munchie and Ormor just get deleted from the map. 2 kills for Sleepy Time, and they're looking for a bit more. Jingwei luckily gets her back off in the middle of the solo lane. Hercules is stunned out, but that movement speed we mentioned earlier should be enough to get her out, or him out. Nike only takes a huge amount of damage from that Jingwei. And with this, With 2 members being down, are they gonna look to push a Phoenix, maybe? Their own is just respawning, so I don't know, maybe you just get out of the way there. Achilles, though, misses the execute because of the dash from the Hercules. Achilles looking to the backline, gets a huge amount of damage onto the Achilles, but no kill secured quite yet. Phoenix is being looked at. Hercules goes in at 0 HP and shells himself immediately. Pele doesn't find Mark with the ult, but does with the knockup, and it's finding a ton of damage in return. No Phoenix will fall once more on the side of Sleepy Time, and Kumba actually gets picked up by Poyo coming back into the fight. And just unfortunate for the side of Sleepy Time, because there goes Caribou, and Mill Phoenix fell again.
I don't know what's going on the side of Sleepy Time right now. They're making a lot of there's a lot of good plays coming out. However, their push is just really awkward. They're really struggling to push as a group right now. I'm not even sure what. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but all I can say is they barely did anything to that Phoenix. They just lost 2 lives for no reason.
And they're on the Phoenix.
And no one went back to defend the Phoenix. I feel like this game is just very ambitious from both sides. I mean, that fire giant pull by LaG was very scary, and they did secure it, but they did lose a couple lives, and it could have easily gotten that stolen. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Very close. So they'll be looking to go for the Phoenix. Only person going to put down their team is the Sobek. I say that, but Nike dives straight to the back line and with a ton of damage off. Akuma finds Pun and stall. Looks like he was trying to have the back line or something. Ariel was dropped down to like 100 HP off the die from the rest of the members, but it'll be a 1 for none at the moment as the Palmer is forced to flee back. Might be a bit more if someone's caught position. Hercules pushes a Nike away, but yeah, he's pretty speedy. But the Achilles flank shields right to the face. The Merlin falls once more. And it looks like the next target is going to be this Hercules. Gets the dash off though, and with that shield of regrowth, they all just realize, why are we going for this guy? 2 members down once more. Let Phoenix actually could fall to minions alone. From the looks of it, and someone has to go for that. That might just be the opening for them to get this right, Phoenix, instead. But it looks like it was spotted out, and Millwave is coming down, but Punsol's set to respawn pretty soon. Good zoning so far, but Nike's shred to absolutely nothing. Doesn't even have her ultimate ready, and she might just fall there in return. The Phoenix is still alive too, and Ariel's at 0 HP. Same thing with Akumba. Punsol finds a kill to Ariel. Achilles looks for the execute, but again is blocked by the Hercules, and another questionable Phoenix siege from the side of Sleepy Time. Or finds Akuma very far off to the right. Jinx falls to Poyo at the end of that. 3 members down for 40 plus seconds. Only 2 members left up are the tanks, but at the moment it looks like Ganesha is being a decent good amount of distraction. Even double trying to sort of taunt his back. 4 of his members running down mid though, and I mean that'll be a 4v1 on the Titan instead. Can she defend? She has her thorns and she has her ultimate. Ariel's respawning with 13. I mean Nike's just got going now, if anything. Find the backliners and just make sure they can't do anything. They're gonna go straight for the Titan though, trying all the way down to half. Ariel's respawned, but the damage is just way too strong, and a bit of a game of throws, and game 1 will go to the side of Guantanamera.
Wow.
At the end of the day.
That was... I was going to compliment Sleepy Time's defense there on the right side, Phoenix, because they actually did stop LaG from pursuing it, got the advantage once more. But once again, it just failed to siege. And I feel like the call to go mid was part of the problem, because Hercules was all the way in left. If they would have just kept going for right, they could have probably taken it with how little health that mid Phoenix had. I'm sure the time they spent walking there would have been enough to burn it. And I know they probably did it just so they could, even out the fire waves in the middle. But I don't know. That call's really questionable. I'm not sure who the shot caller is here for Sleepy Time, but I feel like personally that's a big reason why they struggled that game.
They're a genius for the fire giant call, but elsewhere.
Apparently I'm on both sides. I think you're a genius, but I think some of those calls were a little questionable.
Yeah.
But it's not just the shot caller's fault. I mean, the sieges in general were a little sloppy. Like they didn't get anything any time to try to siege. I think they got the left Phoenix after they got fire, but yeah, I'm not sure that. I feel like a sleepy time just cleans up those sieges and possibly the whatever comms there are. I think sleepy time still has a really good shot to win this, and they're not out. It's just one game. I mean, they just got to win the next two, and that could be a big upset for them.
Yeah, I mean, but again, at the same time, even if they win game 2 and they lose game 3, you almost look at game 1 and think, well, we could have won this.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate for them, this game. Last game, that could have been in their hands.
I mean, I want to give a shout out to Genji. I think he played exceptionally well. But besides a couple positioning things there, like during a couple of those sieges, but he was a nuisance for Munchie and Poyo to deal with. And that Thorns combo, like Relic Dagger combo he had Thorns up for almost every fight they were in. And then everyone else honestly played fairly well. I think the biggest lackluster part of the team was the duo lane, but that was to be expected with Caribou off-roll lane, and then Hukuma Matata just being a sub. And of course, going against probably the strongest duo lane in the league with MX Double and Poyo, I mean, I don't blame them that much. But so looking back at that game 1, is there anything like draft-wise you would like to see changed for Sleepy Time to maybe possibly take the win for game 2?
I mean, I don't know. It's just like I mentioned before, they have a very strong comp on the other side. You know, they let them have so many good picks, but I mean, they played like it didn't matter. I mean, their play style is just sort of go for these awkward picks, and we can make them work. But I don't quite know. I mean, like I said in game 1 as well, maybe they go for that Bastet, maybe the Hera if it's open this time too. You know, go for the comfort, go for the all or nothing, because I mean, it's do or die for your season either way at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm not sure why they didn't pick up the Hera like you mentioned. I mean, that was
banned. That's why.
Well, I thought, but I'm pretty sure Hera was banned phase 2, was she not, or was it phase 1?
I believe it was 1.
Oh, was it? Okay, I thought it was phase 2, so I thought maybe they could have just picked it in the first 3 picks. But appears my memory is bad. I'm just getting old. But
aren't we all in these days with the Rona?
Yes. I just feel like they let too many meta picks through for LaG as well. I mean,
Challenging way. That's all I have to say. Just that alone. Just that alone.
But the problem is, I mean, a lot of the players on the side of LaG have a pretty wide god pool, so you can't. It's super hard to target ban any of them.
I mean, except for the solo and jungle side. I mean, yeah, they do have pretty good god pools. Munchie's always telling about his large god pool. Boyo, I mean, he played mages the entirety of season 1 in Kalidi. But maybe some AC sprinkled in there. I think probably his most played AC last season was Honor, I think, and that's because Honor, because of Darkness, just spiked back to everyone's attention again. But going into these picks and bans once more, looks like first pick will go to the side of Sleepy Time, so the picks and bans will certainly decide which heavy hitter meta pick they're looking for in this first phase. Whether they want this sort of, whether they actually won't go for their Hera if it doesn't get banned, or if they want to go for something like a Raijin instead, or just go for a meta pick. Well, Hera has choices, to be fair.
They took a long time, really, for that decision, and no surprise to see the Janeway ban.
Indeed.
But then it leaves up other options, like you got the Uller, you got the Hoi, which Poyo would play both. So, gotta be a little careful there.
Yeah, Mojo banned out on top of that. I wonder if you just... I don't know, getting Emoji's here, it's there, it's questionable. I guess they're expecting it's in his god pool. They'll take away the 2 carries though with the Merlin ban on top of that, and I mean I can't blame them. Just dominant.
Move. But this also leaves Disco open for Munchie, and Munchie loves Discordia. I wouldn't be surprised to see that picked up once once LaG has their first 2 picks.
But you have to ban something specific out on this third pick, whether it's a target towards Ariel in the mid lane. But it won't be, and I'm almost expecting a Hera pick. Instead it'll be the Discordia, and likely the Bongos will be going to Munchie right after in response. I wouldn't be surprised. Also, maybe another Hercules pick as well. He did very good last game.
I like the Kama ban, and for the reason that Jinji played extremely well. So taking away a really like strong meta pick for Jinji could be good. I mean, granted, I've never seen Jinji play the Kamazots, but I mean, maybe they don't want to see what he can do on the Kamazots. And they take so mega Achilles themselves.
Interesting. Nike though was left open, and I mean, Jinji did go in the last game. The only issue that I really saw was that he was kind of just getting blown up late game, and his team really couldn't do much off that. But I mean, it's not quite his fault that happened. Simply put.
I'm curious to see if this Achilles is going to be solo or jungle.
Jungle.
And then you think it's going to be jungle? I mean, his MX double wouldn't surprise me. Possibly.
Yeah, there's tons of flexibility. The Sobek really doesn't go into jungle unless, I don't know, jungle's a bit of a troll. But they will lock in the Ganesha once more. It did great that last game too. I'm not surprised they pick it up again. Works very good for Discordia as well.
I mean, just going Ganesh alone is a pretty nasty fight. So far, this team, if they draft around it, could be a really strong team to fight like inside the jungle. So we'll have to see what they pick up. And then of course Nike barrier on top of like the Dharmic pillars, like that's always annoying to deal with. And we do see the Bongos locked in for Munchie.
Yeah, like I said though, I really wish we saw someone pick the Vulcan, because I think a lot of people are starting to remember, like, back when Raijin was meta, you just picked Vulcan into this man, and Raijin couldn't do a thing. You knocked him up out of his clear, you knock him up out of his leap, and if you ult, you just ult on top of him, and he really can't get out of it. Unless he basically instantly gets out of his own ult and leaps away, and even then, pretty big circle inside Vulcan. But we won't see him. Of course, we see Discordia and Raijin, tells all of this recent meta. Hachiman banned out Safe Hunter, good target ban towards Poyo Rose. In the jungle, though, it looks like they'll take away Susano and the Humbats, which, I mean, both gods work very well with Ganesha anyways. Ironically enough, they also are bad against him, too. But those 2 picks will be taken away. Basset is still open, though, for good old Jinx, so...
That's true. We've seen Jinx. He's basically the scream of Cleedy with Fastet. I mean,
Hercules banned out.
Yeah, they must assume this Achilles is jungle then, and I can't blame them. I mean, and I guess that was possible draft strategy for LaG, so I don't blame them for this ban. MX was very obnoxious to deal with. Just getting plucked and getting dashed either away or towards the team, depending on what circumstance. Like, I think it's a good ban here.
I think so too. But with the first pick of the second phase, we might just decide that phase the Achilles, unless you go for the AC here. So it'll be interesting to see where all these pieces in the draft fall out. Gallus Poyo maybe looks towards his good old Freya, but at the same time, though, you already have a Sobek. Instead, it'll be the Kefri. So it will be the Achilles jungle, I'd hope. I don't think they do something special like that. Kali, though. Oh my gosh, my Kali being picked here, possibly. Alongside the Cernos. Cernos taking that huge buff recently, so it's not surprised we see him being picked again, but Kali is locked in.
She's been a nuisance at top level play, and I mean in a hyper carry for Jinx, if they get into late game, that's with the disco. I mean that's gonna be really rough.
The issue though is this Kefri.
Yes,
she doesn't have an execute. It's not something that she can just kill them again and get her health right back. It's Kefri's gonna res that target immediately. So unless she has her leap still up and she leaps straight onto that Capri along with the target, then I'm not too sure. Shablanke, though, no surprise to round out this draft. I mean, Sleepy Time's draft is a lot stronger and a lot more coherent with each other, but again, I think just Mike's looks way too strong. Gave away the Raijin, he gave away the Shablanke as well. Achilles, it's a bit of a question mark in the jungle nowadays, although he still is pretty strong there because of his insane amount of damage. As we saw last game, I mean, Jinx did fairly well on it too. Or we'll get the Sobek again, but will we see the same issue in the solo lane though, that Armor just falls behind to this Nike? Will we see that happen again?
Yeah, that's something I'm a little worried about. I think what we need to see is a little bit more focus out of Pun install here from solo, and not necessarily you don't have to kill Nike on a cooldown kind of thing, but kind of just show face, maybe out pressure, make the Nike. You know, when Nike like TP's in, maybe get a gank and make her really low in health, so that way she's forced to either just stay and be risky, or she has to back and she has to walk the lane, gets you some free farm, or even just blue buff invades. Our save your own blue buff. He did lose most of his blue buffs. Like he had a blue buff fade like at level 4, I think. Last game was like the first one. So I don't know.
I mean,
it depends where they want to put the pressure on the map, though. Maybe they want Punstall to be helping out Munchie in mid. I mean, it's really dependent on what LaG wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing Nike now with most of her builds, she doesn't go for a shield really in those. I mean, she does lack that sustain pretty heavily because of that. It's not old Nike where she had at least some form of HP 5 heavily built into her kit, you know, like a Jing Chen. That's part of the kit. So yeah, you could look to poke her out, even though she's basically invincible with that ultimate. But like I mentioned last set as well, you got the Achilles. And if you're still below that threshold, all that shooting means nothing. It's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how they're gonna play this out, because 1-on-1, Shinji will win that. I mean, just if it's gonna be based off how that last game went, but we'll have to see how both teams play around it. But I'm curious about how Jinx is gonna handle this Kali. Like I said, I mean, early she's gonna early mid she's gonna be all right. I mean, but late game, if they get Jinx, you know, to level 20 and like 25 minutes in. Yeah, but you had a good point at the Kepri. I mean, Kali's gonna leap in, you know, waste her kit, try to focus someone to get the heal, but then Kepri just pops ult. Kali just gets blown up afterwards. I mean, so they gotta be really smart and kind of keep track of this Kepri ult before Jinx tries to commit on somebody like that.
I mean, your huge focus would have to be on the Kepri itself, and you know, while all that is going on, just Jinx is sort of sitting quietly in the back, just waiting for his time to leap on the carries. I think that's probably your best case scenario in these fights for Sleepy Time. The draft is a lot better though, no matter how you put in. Well, with how last game went, I mean, they could easily win this. They could have easily won game 1 too, but they just unfortunately sort of threw a few chances to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's see. I'm curious to see how this Carnonos gets played here. You did mention his recent buff where his autumn stance now shreds magical protections along with the physical protections, which does actually work on the objectives. So maybe they're going to be looking for heavy objective shred, which with Kali, I mean, that's very possible. I mean, they did pull that cheeky fire giant. Maybe they want to do it again.
But then you look for the Merlin running because he's got nerfs to his shred, and you just give it right back to him with the Certinus new change. Yeah, it's the synergy of that shred. I mean, this Corey does have good cooldown usage compared to most mages. Of course, she doesn't have it secure, but I mean, it won't be as bad as some other mids, possibly. But it's not as good as a Merlin, as we mentioned. Merlin shred with Theranos shred, I mean, I think Frenzy showed off in one of the games, it was just instant. I mean, you literally left it down first. You left the objective alone for a second and it was just gone. And I mean, it must be happy that Merlin isn't the same thing as Release Merlin, because he's way more ridiculous, I think. Again, though, looking into that lifesteal button, I mean, Soul Gem. Actually, no, he won't look into the lifesteal this time around. Let's see, Soul Gem still does work on Discordia relatively well. It's not that bad. It's usually better a lot later, though, and I think that's a smart pickup.
We actually see, yeah, I'm about to say, it looks like they were going to do Lost Artifact start, but they actually changed their mind, Uriel, say, and decided to do the very common, well-known Mage's Blessing pen tier 1 rush. My goodness.
Depending on how it goes, you actually could look for a. I think you actually could maybe rush a Spirit Deso and wait on it until you went to the third. Just get a lot more power and some extra stuff online earlier.
Oh yeah, I mean, and with the cooldowns and the cooldown in your 3, I mean, Disco's gonna be throwing abilities left and right.
Yep. On the duo side, though, I mean, wave 1, I mean, it's Kepri and Shablanke. That's insane amounts of pressure no matter how you put it. Probably one of the best clears besides Sylvanas, and I mean, hey, let's be happy that Sylvanas still doesn't have his old heal too on top of that, otherwise, I mean, this lane would be basically instantly done. In fact, back in the day, Sylvanas Wisps healed his own minions and damaged enemy minions. Back in the good old days.
The good old days, that sounds obnoxious. I wasn't playing at the time, and I'm kind of glad, because I feel like I would have raged playing against the Sylvanas.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gone Sylvanas ADC and maybe Kepri support. Forgot those range shadows, you know. Things change, but either way.
Sometimes they're for the better, and sometimes they're kind of weird. But...
So, I won't be surprised if you see a kill in this duo lane. There is certainly kill pressure possible from both sides. The Shell was a relic of both of the supports, though. Which,
yeah,
we see pretty often, but I mean, I can't really blame both these supports. Really don't utilize any other relic too good early.
The big problem for this duo lane right now for LaG is Kepri's such a mana-hungry god, and that's why we don't see him often right now. Just due to the fact that you're kind of required to go to the health pots if you want to go, want to get hog. So Kepri's just gonna either need to be really conservative with mana, or still have to back a little bit more often than usual here. But
Yeah, so,
the lockdown with if Kepri does get his kit off and Shablanke gets his autos on, I mean, that could be an easy kill for the duo.
indeed. Plug just off the mark, and I mean, right now it looks like Shinji's taking the worst out of the trade from the Sobek. But again, we'll see how that ends up going for the rest of the lane, because I mean, like we mentioned last time in lane, he was 3 levels up on the Sobek last time. Throughout most of the game. The Alpha Herbie will be looked at and taken away, but nothing else in response. A little bit of a lead here on the side of Autonamera. About half a level already. And this duo side just off the pressure. Nike almost soloed.
I'll retreat for now.
I'm not sure what's changed for this lane, but Ormer's playing a lot better. I wonder if maybe the early game just... I mean, I did mention the blue buff invade, but I wonder if Ormer just maybe made a few critical mistakes in lane, which kind of let no Nike snowball. I'm not too sure.
Last game, we cut off it like right as it happened. Ginger got plucked on the tier 1 tower and actually like, did a bit of poke, so... I mean, it did happen this game, I would assume, but... Actually might have happened, actually. Oh, how low he got. I didn't expect the Sobek block.
We actually see the Nike go the tank boots, which I like. I like tank boots a lot, actually. I mean, granted, you don't build it every game, but I mean, I guess you're playing against a Raijin. Oh, that's gonna be really nice. You're getting a lot of those stacks pretty free.
The Raijin, the Kepri, and the Shablanke. Yeah. I mean, 2 backlines that are gonna instantly stack, and a support that could stack it pretty quickly if you're plugged in by them. It's a good pickup. It's a really good pickup.
Oh yeah, good adjustment. I mean, granted,
looks like a bait though. Kali forced the ult, pulled straight back in, but he might just find a kill return instead. The dot damage will be a bit too much for Jinx, and First Blood will go to support. The ult is dropped onto Jablanque. With his distance, he should be out if he's alive unless he's caught lazy backing. Both the blades will be off the mark though, and Discordia might just get punished in return if she doesn't have the unruly magic, but... Or... Yeah, and she'll get out of there relatively safe.
Yeah,
Classic bait from LaG.
I don't know what, like I guess you said, like, it must have been a bait, but geez, Kali was just caught out way too easily. Three of them were, I mean, just not grouped up.
I think you should have probably looked to get out of there in the end. They like that corner though. I mean, I personally scrimmed against them, and I mean, they love to use that corner as a baiting tool. Not to brag, but fortunately when they did against my team, I was playing Amaterasu, and Amaterasu dash silences, so I have to arrange in the plans. But it's a good tactic though. Bait the Harpies. And the thing is, Sobek doesn't clear a lane as easily as most would think. When he supports, he still has a small issue with clearing. I think it's maybe what gave such a lead. Good stun to come out, but Kyle without leave is just plucked straight into damage. Dot damage should probably secure the kill the Ante. Dharmic Pillars along with the Drums of War sound, and well, not much is found for the moment except for a few ultimates. They want more though as Jablanque rotates, and that might just be a fatal mistake for this Ganesha as he's plucked straight back into Lil Munchie. Achilles is here to play as well. Unfortunately, didn't see the Kali, and the execute is on its mark. Put install, gets the kill onto Ariel. Third kill of the game for the side of Katana Mara.
I mean, Kali got out. I feel like there was no need to re-engage. I'm not sure what the decision is, but oh, Sobek almost gets this fucking kill. Hospital got the solo kill after, but...
And it could go both ways. Soren's stuck on his own tower, taking the bullet shots to the face. Jablanque's gotta be careful though. This is one issue that Poyo usually faces, is getting baited in. And well, he does so, but that's not a solo, as Kepler's on the solo side of the map, but either way, Jinji will fall to the Sobek and the Ganesh, or the Kepri combined. They find one thing on the other side of the map, but I mean, you lose their solo in return.
It's good that Kali was able to at least get a kill here, because Kali was starting to have a pretty rough start. And I mean, if you're gonna prevent this Kali from getting the late game, they were doing it pretty well. She's kind of back on her feet right now. I mean, she's on par with Achilles, 1-1. We actually see the Ninja Tab come out. Interesting. I feel like Warrior's typically what most people like to build on her, but I guess get that some more attack speed online a little bit earlier. Maybe we're gonna see a different build path. I'm not too sure.
Well, I don't think we go for that much of a different build path. I think it's just choice. But speaking of Ninja Type though, looks like Jablanque picked up as well. And, I mean, what's good for his build though too with Transcendence. Good on man for that build. Cernos drops the ult, but beads are good in return, and the minion wave is better, and he actually gets a decently good end of that trade. Time went on. Cern though is very heavily favored in lifesteal with his 1 and his Devo's Blood pickup. Kepri is rotating in though. I think he spotted out, and Dash was gonna be good to keep him safe for the moment, but beads are better, and well, I think that root actually missed its mark. And the shell is not in time, and Poyo killed once more by this Kali. And now she's half level up too.
That was yeah, wow. I mean, unfortunately, I mean, Kemper was not able to get the pluck, and the root was actually, I'm not actually sure the root would look like it could. It looked like it was at the very edge, but regardless, the beads were good and got him out, and just rotation on Jinx there to come in, get that kill. And now Kali's looking to be a little bit more scarier. Kind of had a weird positioning that first death of his, but now he's done with that.
Yeah, I mean, he almost died twice, to be fair. He sort of sacked support instead. But this Gold Fury is being looked at from Guantanamera. It looks like no one wants to get in quite yet. Apple comes straight through onto the Khepri as the Goldberry's at half. Khepri silenced out dash, a very aggressive dash from this Koya as well. Sorry, Koya's dropped and he would just rest himself on it, but that might have been a mistake. The ult comes through the Externo and everything. Khepri will actually get out there alive as Gingy looks like he gets dove under his tower on the solo side of the map. Strife, though, it's perfect from Ariel to get the kill on the double at the end of the day. And with that, they are looking for a bit more, looking for some farm to steal away, but that might just be Gold Fury with how low Munchie is without a ult.
I know, just like that, Sleepy Time's gonna take this gold for himself, and I mean, granted, LaG actually has like gold lead before this, but now with his Gold Fury, right back to even. But on the other side, Pyromancer is going to be looked at. I mean, you know you lost your Fury, might as well try to get what you can out of the other side of the map.
I mean, it's the exact opposite from Soul at the moment. Nike's a level down, she's 0-2, she's been focused pretty heavily this game. It's a smart thing by LaG to do. The question is, will that actually affect her into the rest of these fights? Well, I mean, Nike just... I mean, most people sort of become ult bots when they're a bit behind, but I mean, Nike's probably one of the better ults. I mean, she just gets a huge amount of extra shielding. Basically negates for being behind to an extent.
I mean, you get the massive shield, and then you, like I mentioned, like picks and bans in game one, you get that massive slow for 6 seconds. So you're always gonna have, it's kind of like combats. You're always gonna have some kind of relevancy with that ult, even if you're far behind. Now, granted, you'll be, you know, the more far behind you are, it's easier it might be to be blown up, but you'll still, she could at least still come in, rotate, and she's actually not that far behind. All things considered, about a level and a half, it looks like. Here, Sobek just did hit level 12.
Mm-hmm. Fortunate for Nike though, this game. It's such a strong game one, and well, she's getting punished for having such a strong game one in return. Double root, but this finds damage. Nothing else really. Probably somewhere around this mid. But I mean, we saw it twice already. Looks like he might just rotate that dual side. Apple's good, but doesn't find anything. Sobek's trying to find something, but the clock is off the mark. Pings come out and they're probably pinging out the Sobek. Timotar should fall in mid though. Good blink in from Jinx Q once more. Finds his third kill of the match so far onto Pun stall. Might just find another onto this Khepri. Good drums from the Raijin to get them off his support, and that might just bring out the fight. Tier 1 for the jungle.
Yeah, I love Raijin's ult is just it's so obnoxious. I mean, it does a lot of damage if you want it. It'll taunt you, it'll fear you. I mean, and that I feel like that's one of the reasons why Raijin's heavily valued, and was for most of the time until they eventually nerfed its clear to be kind of a little bit weaker. But of course, they had to bump that back up, and that's about a couple months ago because you know high res.
Looks like Munchies though is going into the lifesteal next. That's actually, I mean, that's the soul gem of Python. Actually, it's interesting to see that I am, to say the least. Either way in this build, you typically just expect Raijin to go something else. Maybe like, I mean, maybe he's going soul gem and just getting that extra burst. That's most likely where he'll go.
Yeah, max out cooldown for him too.
Yeah. Well, he was a big power spike for this Kali that was getting that haste online. I mean, it hasn't. Her ability to stick people actually hasn't really mattered that much this game so far, considering that he just blink stuns people and just instant blows them up, anyways. But I mean, that's the biggest danger of late game. Like, arguably one of the least fun ways to die late game, or at least in my opinion, is death by haste. Because I mean, there's just nothing you can do except try and peel off with your own damage, and you know, 9 times out of 10, it seems like no one else is doing damage to that person.
Yeah, Jinx has kind of just been the cleanup crew this entire set so far. Not the set, sorry, this game. I mean, like, it sounds Kali's getting those kills out. I mean, the faster she gets to late game, the more gold she gets, the more items she gets. I mean, I feel like having Kali this cleanup is not a bad thing at all for them. Her purpose isn't really to be here that often.
She can get those beads up, hopefully, if she has time to back for this next gold free, which is going to be very important. one thing the pros did that against a Mercury, which also really works well against a Kali, which I'm surprised they didn't do on the side of LaG, was go for more shells. Double one shell, of course, which makes sense, but I mean, we see mids, we see even jungles go for their own shell too. And I think it just ruins what this Kali wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I like the double shell. And I also didn't understand why Sobek went the blink instead. But
Oh no, Nike gets plucked straight in. Shielding isn't up quite yet, but up perfectly fine as Dark Poison as Silence comes through on the Khepri. And he will actually get the revive off in return, and he'll actually get out there alive. The rotation from his team is good. The drums of war sound and it's barely off. The Mark actually does find the kill on the Gingy at the end of it. Punstall finds the Kumba. Double kill for the Achilles as, well, Ryder gets a double kill of his own, and that's a 4-man wipe on the side of LaG, and he's looking for more actually. It looks like a little Munchie into mid lane. So he gets primal for it pretty easily, and Munchie secures with the DS side and a split triple. And I mean, that fight was going good, but then Khepri got his res off, and again, fighting in that area is just so much more dangerous with the fact that you can't walk through that little part in the mid anymore. I mean, it just showed. That's what won the fight for LaG.
yeah, that's not a good look here for Sleepy.
Yeah.
He decided this early and then just handing 2 objectives right on and over.
The silence though is the key thing though into this Khepri, which almost played to its worth there, because you saw him out for so long and he just can't get his ult on him. That almost worked out, but it didn't, and the fight was turned on its head. Looks like once you did go for the Soul Gem as well, likely going to the Soul Reaver next. Just a ton of burst damage. Insane amount of burst damage, put simply.
So you mentioned the dev gloves last time, but now we actually do see the trends on the Xbalanque here for Poyo. Assuming that's got to be either Aussie or Executioner. Aussie if he wants a little bit of lifesteal, and Executioner just because, well, you gotta have that item.
I mean, I think Aussie's moving to a Kali. Blink will get the beads out from this Raijin, and actually the ult as well. Kali forced the beads as well. He will get that kill under the tier 1 tower. It don't matter. Jinx Q secures the kill on the little Munchie. Darming Pillars comes out to slow them a bit as well and give Jinx Q a bit of a way out, or maybe a way back in if Nike's rotated in. Leads to the tower, but she doesn't have her ult at this time. She's got to be a bit careful. Res is perfect, but the damage from Poyo is better. The rotation from the other AC, though, might just spell the doom for this Achilles. He does get out alive with his ultimate. Caribou, though, caught underneath the might of 3 people, and time for the double kill for Poyo. Slug doesn't find the target onto the Cernanos, but they'll put them back anyways. A 2 for 1, which, I mean, it should have just been a 1 for none, realistically. It was a good pick, and then they just won much more than they should have.
Yeah, I feel like they really stayed in that tower for so long and really just committed too much. I feel like after Jinx got that kill, I mean, I don't know, a little bit too greedy for Sleepy time, which is kind of what happened in game 1 too. I mentioned it. I feel like the calls are very mixed. They're either like godlike calls or they're kind of questionable. There hasn't really been any in between. This Fire Giant is kind of being looked at here for both teams. Only 18 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, it might be just be looking to pick on this Nike, possibly. Pick down to about half. Jabak is certainly hunting for that. Well, you'll just back off for the moment. I don't think they'll go for quite an early Fire Giant call. I think they might just look back to farm. Or they could just look to barrel down, like we just mentioned, and not let this Kyle get the late game as much as she wants to. She got the Executioner online. Her next biggest thing is gonna be those chin sides, though.
She's gonna start shredding very soon, but I don't know. I mean, Kepri's gonna have all, and I don't know. I feel like how this game is pacing itself to be feel like Jinx is really gonna struggle to be able to actually get a single target to murder. But this target might actually be Khepri himself.
Yeah, he's gonna
No.
rely on Caribou mostly, and just the silence, or just the disruption he can cause. Same thing with the Discordia. Pluck will be off the mark, taking a bit of a page from my book of Sobek Plucks. And well, that chase will kind of be off the Nike at that point. They still are hovering on this left side. Goldberry is respawning pretty soon. I think that might just be the smart call. Instead, it looks like a 5-man grouping against the 3 from LaG. But I think LaG sniffs it out and they just walk away from this.
Yeah, unfortunately, lack of vision. They didn't really realize that they had the numbers advantage. Plus, maybe they didn't really want to try to super force anything.
Indeed. Sawyer, though, is finally online for Blood Munchie, and I mean, it's gonna be scary seeing how much damage she does. It won't quite matter to the Kali when she's in her ult, but I mean, it will certainly force her ult a lot quicker than she probably wants it to be. Again, like we said, the only ult's coming up, and no one's in sight. That's the only Fury.
A little late on the rotation there, Sleepy Time. I feel like once you saw that no one was around fire, kind of maybe had to assume where they were, but...
What's gonna be annoying, though, from this Jablake, the Oboe picked up pretty early on, after the Yasi pickup. Just get that extra branching damage. Kanesh's rooted out, but Cern is plucked in, and that's looking to be the target. It takes about half his HP bar. Good blink fuck. Gets poke Rallis, and well, Cern gets out here. That'd be a miracle. I say that, but the kill from his team is immaculate, and he actually gets the kill on the execute. Taunts him straight in. It doesn't matter. He will fall to a little Munchie either way with the drums of war, but I mean, a huge turnaround to say the least. Of something that was a pretty bad situation. Like, he's gotta be careful, and I think the comms just weren't there, and she ults a bit. I mean, she just ults for no reason there. With all those ults being down, though, the Fire Giant might just be looked at from the side of LaG. Ganesha is coming in, but doesn't have its key steel tool in the Dharmic Pillars. Discordia is actually taking a pretty good pathing. Frenzy pop, they want to shred this Fire Giant. So it's still at 30 HP. This could easily be a turnaround for this Kali. Stun out onto Munchie. Khepri res is there and allow him to leap away. Fire Giant was a bit too ambitious there for them. That does cost them an ultimate. The apple is good, and Khepri will easily fall for that. Actually, no, he doesn't. He lives the Poyo will fall. Kali though leaps from his back, and I guess he got out of the way. Caribou will fall in return, and this Kali might just be more food for this Achilles as she's forced ult way back in between the Phoenix and the tower. Execute not needed that time. Sobek drops the ult, and Discord really has no defense outside of just spamming abilities on top of him. Munchie just re-entered the fight to put some damage out, but at the end of the day, it's a 2 for 2, and well, nothing more.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I guess you got leg off the FG, which is a win for Sleepy. You got a couple picks, but lost a couple picks. I don't know. I feel like in the end, I think Sleepy Time wins that engagement.
Yeah.
Just stopping them from securing that FG. I mean, because if that would have happened, that would have been a pretty. Obviously, losing Fire Giant just kind of turns the table pretty harshly. But honestly, I looking at this comp, I really do like the defense that Sleepy Time does have. So I feel like Sleepy is going to be really tough for LaG.
But the question is, I mean, well, say they defend the fire and they don't do correctly. You know, LaG gets the Fire Giant, but they can usually just get Phoenix and heavily negate this defense. Looks like a pause vote does come out. Thankfully, it's not a combat pause this time around. Unless some stray hit from the Achilles was onto the Fire Giant, but I'm not sure that's considered as combat.
No, I think it has to be between gods. I don't think the minions count, unless it's some, like, I don't know. I guess it's technically up to the admin's discretion, but I feel like the only exception to that is maybe you might miss, like, your secure on the objective because of pause, but I don't know how that would really even happen in the first place. But let me do my thing and check out what's going on here.
They're circling on this fire giant, and one important thing for this fight though is that Kali doesn't have that very important power spike of the size. I mean, he's got tier 2 of it, but not having that item full is pretty huge, actually. Crit is online from the side of the CERN, but he only has that rage at the moment. Excuse me. He has rage at the moment, but doesn't have the extra crit from the Poison Star build. That tier 1 of it doesn't have crit. It just has flat power and some attack speed, I believe.
Alright, well, I don't see a reason for pausing. Well, it doesn't matter because game's back. Let's go. I did all that digging for nothing.
If Fire Giant already shredded down the half game, that should dashes in, and he could easily bait himself to be a target there. But instead, Rocky put them off there with his player, so pretty good tapping. Kali gets plucked. I'm not sure if it's the prime target. Drums are sounded. Kali doesn't have to be. Oh, it just got up the second he died. An unfortunate event for Jinx and aerial falls to put install, and I mean, looking at the Fire Giant that was taken away at this point, it was just a bad fight on the other end. Execute is perfect, double kill. Poyo gets another kill, and that's a full on D side, and that might just be game.
And yeah, possibly the definitely low health bars, but we'll see. I mean, it's definitely absolutely a Phoenix. There's no like, I mean, but it looks like the call is to actually back off and go to FG just based off what the things are.
Yeah, maybe that's the other takings as well from the side of
That's true.
Time. They got 10 seconds free counts on the time, but like you mentioned, their health balls are pretty low on the sides of, well, they're 3 frontliners, if you count kills as a front line with that build.
I mean,
back off.
Yeah, he had 3 people just about to spawn too. I mean, that would have been a little bit too ambitious, so smart call to back off. I'm surprised they actually didn't try to grab fire, but I guess their health bars were fairly low after that Phoenix push too, so. Yeah, but they are actually starting it right now.
Maybe lagging with the memo that 2 characters can easily just steal the Fire Giant for, well, really any reason at all. So the damage. Fire Giant's already down to, well, a quarter, and Frenzy's popped to secure. Drums are pushed through, but I mean, that's easy Fire Giant. The defense, like we said, is good, but a huge thing is that Phoenix and right is down. Just does do pretty decent punch in the defenses of the side of Sleepy Time. Power Fury's up, and I mean, I'm sure he's straightforward with it. If Sleepy Time tries to contest it, then they're just throwing. Shinseis are online though, for this Kali at least. Ops are being picked up by this Discordia, and they'll do the smart option and back off. I think realistically what they should have been doing right now is they should have known that they were going for this Fury and just push up right as hard as they can. Because, I mean, 2 fire waves going in is not something you want. You do get a bit of extra time with that tier 2 being up, because, I mean, either way you're not defending that, but it's a bit of a waste opportunity. That clearly works quickly though, because they're already through that tower, and just now they're backing. Discord will drop the damage on Sobek. Frenzy's up. Dark Pillars is 2. Kept far down to half, but the Phoenix is dead. 2 Phoenixes down now. On the side of Sleepy Time.
Yeah, this is rough. I mean,
do or die. It's do or die for Sleepy Time right now for their season.
Yeah.
2 Phoenixes down. Could this be the miracle, comeback game for them?
I mean, after what I watched in the SPL today with the Renegades versus with Radiant set, honestly, I'm more of a believer in some insane comebacks, so it's possible. And like I mentioned earlier, the defense on Sleepy Time is actually fairly solid, but they're just getting picked too easily right now. The team composition that LaG has drafted here, it's just, I feel like it's just a bit too much for for Sleepy Time to really just handle.
Wait, both things are down. They looks like with LaG probably back, they want to end this game as soon as possible, and well, they're just barely down mid right now. Mochi's getting his red buff, they're probably trying to take away that red buff for their own, and still actually looks like Sleepy Time does get their own red buff. So they're in a bit of bad position. Yeah. Blink onto this Cordia, great play by Ormer. And the season's fading away ever more and more for Sleepy Time. That take onto the mid. Dharmic Pillars dropped as well, doesn't find much. It's looking pretty grim for the side of Sleepy Time. Cappy tries to look for a pluck, but doesn't find much. Right, Phoenix is respawning, well... That man was respawned. Firewave pushing in on the left. Wave coming down in mid. They're positioning like they want to end this. Dive onto the backline is good at the moment. Nike is doing all she can. The drums are out once more. Execute doesn't find a small part to anyone. Gingy will fall. Jablaki is trying to get outside of the Kali damage, and with just 2 members alive, looks like Sleepy Time will fall in this game. I mean, we saw some signs of life from the side of Sleepy Time in both games. It could have been an upset for the 9th into the 1st seed, but LaG, like I mentioned before, looks like they want to retain their dominant state, and they win this set.
That was, I don't know. That was, like I mentioned, team composition was a big reason. But honestly, just, I feel like Kali, do Kali things. There was just a lot. Positioning, I guess, would be what I want to focus on here. Lots and lots of free picks for LaG just due to poor positioning from both games.
Indeed.
And he just really got punished, and you can't be playing stuff like that here.
Yeah, and with that, their season's over, though. Well, I mean, we have the semifinals coming up, though. We still have one more match to decide who, or maybe the quarterfinals, if I'm thinking about correctly. I'm not a numbers person, I'm a solo laner, you know? Not very good smart. But we have one more set left into this first round of the playoffs. Then we'll look into the second round, and so we're going to see which team comes off top of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, with the bracket update, we have, after the set, we have LaG versus JPEG for the first semis, and then we also have the winner of OPE and Poppies versus Frenzy, who actually, I guess, technically upsetted Rats with Bats in their set with 2-1. In case you were watching this and didn't see the update, but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna a lot of people are predicted JPEG to win it all. I don't blame them. That's a powerhouse of a roster right there. But
JPEG was the first team to beat Montana Mera in the regular season. We'll be able to pull it off. We'll find out next week for that answer, though. It's nice having you, gaming fan, and Frank from IT on the cast. We'll catch you later on.